Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time you're watching this at. Um, this is a weird one for me because right now, currently speaking, it is 2 minutes to midnight, and usually I don't do videos this late. I get caught up. My missus is at some event. My daughter is lying in bed sleeping. Usually I would have recorded this a wee bit earlier whenever I had the chance, but I got caught up doing stuff for another game that is upcoming. Yeah. So, a few things to talk about. And there's a few things to go over. Basically we're going to be talking about, you've probably seen from the title, cheesing our skill points. So we're obviously going to be talking about that and just a few other things, because it's been quite quiet recently. Because it's been quite quiet recently, if I could speak, that would be great. But because it has been quite quiet, I'm not even going to say it no more. I give up. Because it's been that recently, what I'm going to do is I'm going to elaborate on a few things at the end of this video. If you'd be interested in sticking around for that, you're more than welcome to do so. And it might give you a wee bit more of an insight as to why things the way they are, and also why things are going to be going the way that they are going to be going, without trying to be vague about it. But it is something that we will get into at the end of the video. So, with that being said, what have I been up to recently? If you know me, you've seen my videos, you know that I do a lot of ice mining during work hours, which let's hope none of my bosses ever see these videos. Because 95% of the time I'm AFK and I can just make ISK by having two accounts running simultaneously. One's in an Orca, one's in a Hulk. Easy peasy, done and dusted, lemon breezy. Right, there we go. But there's only so much, even AFK, that you can actually look at ice before wanting to repeatedly smash your face off said ice. So usually what I do to mix in with that is I go and mine gas. Right, you can see a trend here. Mining, okay? When in reality mining is boring, and I don't like to do mining. Okay, gas mining is different, especially if you're doing it in a wormhole, because it adds a wee bit of excitement as we could get jumped here, which has happened many times, and you've seen it in previous videos. But generally speaking, I do a lot of my mining during work hours because of this weird thing that I set on myself not a few months ago. Yeah, actually it would have been a few months ago. Any time that I log in, or any day that I log in, I just kind of have it as a personal goal of mine to make 100 million in that day. The reason for that being, it's one of those things that if I log in every day and I make 100 million every day, that's 3 billion at the end of the month. I don't stop when I hit the 100 million mark, but it's a good starting point. So it's 3 billion at the end of the month, right? Great, fantastic. And with me being in work, I do ice and I can make 90, 100 million a day in ice alone, which is fantastic. And the reason why I do it during work is because, like it says, ice mining is boring, okay? And whenever I log in with my free time, where I can actually sit and go, I am going to play Eve, I'm not working, my partner is in bed, my child is in bed, the house is all sorted and everything is fine, this is my free time, I don't want to do ice mining. I don't, right? I'm not going to. I want to be able to do something that interests me, whether that is exploring wormholes, ratting, faction warfare, fucking even going to Amazon and trying to kill a Praxis and a fucking Gnosis that are, gate camping. Doing something like that, something that's interesting. So I get all my money making out of the way so that the rest of my actual free time I can sit and do that. Right, so that's why I do ice mining during work. Recently I haven't been doing as much because that goal of making 100 million per day is, while it's still there, it's not really there. Whereas I can log in and go, right, I'm going to make 100 million a day, and then if I don't hit it, I'm like, well, fuck it, because right now I'm sitting on about 1.5 billion's worth of ice. in the station, and then there's a couple 100 million of gas, random loot from rotten escalations, PvP, stuff like that. I'm sitting on maybe about 50, 60, 70 million. Exploration loot, I'm sitting on near 100 million. Extra ship fittings, I'm on 250 million. I've just got all this Esclan about the place where I'm like, I don't really need it right now, so I'm not going to go out and farm for it. Which has led me to this point where sometimes I'm just sick of looking at ice, and basically during work hours I'm looking to do other things. Two of those things is low level combat sites and cheesing or skill points. So we'll quickly run over the low level combat sites. Why am I doing them? If you've seen some of my previous videos, you'll probably seen me, doing level 9 sites and rattlesnakes, pretty easily, where I was making, maybe 45 to 60 million every 20-25 minutes or so, which adding up is quite a big bit of money over an hour to doing low level combat sites. And with those low level combat sites, there's only two reasons why I'm doing it. The secondary reason, and the least important of the two, is that I'm doing it for escalations, because those escalations can then lead, you go and do an escalation and you could get lucky, which I have done once before, where I got a shield that was worth like 109 million, which was great. I've only ever had that happen once, so I'm not putting all my bank on that. But mostly what I'm doing is I am doing some tag farming. Okay, so I'm Caldari, my character's Caldari, I live in Caldari space, my highest rep in any NPC faction is Caldari, and I want to be able to do level 4 missions. And to be able to do level 4 missions, you have to get to a certain amount of rep. Now, getting to that rep through normal missions like distribution, mining and security missions are boring as fuck. Oh my god, it's so boring, like completely boring, and I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do level 4 missions where I can start making some bank, right? And if the missions are boring, then fine, as long as the payout at the end of that mission is good, I don't give a shit. Getting to that point though, I don't want to put in that legwork, I don't want to put in that effort, I'm not going to. So while I'm in work, I'm doing some tag farming, because I am in Caldari space. The rats that show up in my area space is the Garistas. They drop Garista tags. I can then hand in the Garista tags for rep. So I'm kind of just in the middle of just stockpiling them as much. Yes, I could go and buy them, and that was an idea to begin with, but then after looking at it and going, this is probably going to cost me about 1.5 to 2 billion, I'm not going to do that. So that is why I'm doing low level combat sites. Obviously, extra loot is there, it's not really worth it. Honestly, I wouldn't do low level combat sites in my free time. It's just because I'm in work. You can face roll them, especially in the Hawk that I use. It's fine. Secondly, skill points. Right, if you've played EVE for more than a day, you will know skill points are king. Right, everything is about skill points. So you need skill points in everything, right? Like, let's take an Orca for example. The skill points needed and the time needed to get into an Orca, not that long, to be honest. It's not. You could look at something and say, I think it's like 49 days from start to finish. It is what it is. That's not that long. The skill points and the time required to fly a Orca that can boost a fleet with compression as well in there is a long time. You need skill points. Skill points are king. Everything is based around skill points, whether it's for PvP ships, ratting ships, mining ships, transport ships. Everything requires skill points. Now, there's a few different ways to get skill points. You can go and do the daily objective, which sometimes it gives you a measly 2,500 skill points. Shit, I ain't gonna make a dent in anything. You can go and you can buy them on the store in packs, which is real money. Not really a fan, don't really want to do that, so I don't. You can go and buy injectors. I, as a mega clone on my main 2 counts, my main account and then my second account are both Omega clones, I cannot use daily alpha injectors because, again, have to be alpha. So that's out. Small scale injectors and large scale injectors are useless. My main character has over 31 million skill points now, which I know in the terms of the greater community of EVE is not an awful lot. But still, it's enough to start to lower that threshold. So with a large scale injector, I no longer get 500,000 skill points, I get 400,000, which then takes off 6 days ish, 6.5 days worth of skill time. When you're dropping on near a billion ISK on 6 days, it ain't really worth it, in my opinion. So that realistically leaves, there's two options. You can use skill extractors, which again, even the empty ones cost quite a bit, or you can buy them on the store, which is plaques, which again, you can transfer from ISK into plaques and then do it that way if you want it, but you know, it's a lot of hassle. So the R program, the R career program, whatever you want to call it, getting skills from R. There's certain things that you can do in it, you know, and I've finished 3 of them, I think. One of them was duels. Now, if you've come out of Jita recently, you've probably been invited to a duel, and if you're like me, you hit no and you fuck off to your destination. Okay, so how was I supposed to get people to duel me if I wouldn't duel people outside of Jita? Secondly, how was I going to get people to duel me that I wouldn't lose a ship and I wouldn't lose money? Enter second account. Big brain moves here. We got the big brains on. We're thinking outside of the box. So I got my second character on. I got him to come down in a Corvette. You know, I had a safe spot that we could use in Halima. His home station was Halima, so anytime I killed him, he appeared in the same system, and then he just warped back to me. I'd done this 15 times, right? So that I got the full participate in a duel, kill a capsulator in a duel, do 15 duels or whatever it was. I'd done all of them. My phone was going fucking mental in my pocket, and I was like, why? And like at that stage, I'm still in work, and I could go, what the fuck's my phone going mental for? And it's linked to my watch, and I looked at my watch, and it came up that it was Discord, and I was like, Jesus Christ, something's happening on Discord. But you know, right now I'm in work, I can't really check it. A while later, I checked the Discord. It turns out that it was me, because I completely forgot in my infinite wisdom that my 2 main characters, so my main character and my alt character, the second account, are both in the same corporation, and that same corporation's Discord has a bot that anytime a character gets killed or gets a kill, it links it in a certain channel within the server. I done this 15 times, and I hope you can see where I'm going with this one. I done this 15 times, right? So every time I got a kill on my second account's Corvette and then the capsule to send them back to home station, it was coming up 4 times. Because for the 2 kills that I got on my main account, but also for the 2 kills that my second character was killed, right? Over the 15 duels, there was 60 notifications within an hour. At one stage, another person came in, because everyone in the Discord could see this. At one stage, another person came in and goes, what exactly are you doing? And I went, cheesing our skill points. Which is what I was doing. Straight to the point. Right? Completely unforeseen side effect. Right? Just fucking straight up, just cheesing our skill points. 60 notifications in the fucking Discord. There you go. That's basically just all that I've been doing recently. Obviously, I've started Faction Warfare on my third account. I'm starting to get into it because it's closer to home than my main account. Yeah, I've just been dicking about, really. I haven't really been doing anything of note recently. So there's that. So that is that. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's pretty much all I've been doing. So, if you'll indulge me, I want to explain a few things. Obviously, before the break, I was in nullsec, and as soon as I come back from the break, I was not in nullsec. Okay? And if you're not aware, and if you haven't seen my videos, or you only started seeing this recently, I went on a break for a bit. That was originally 2 weeks. Said it in the video, couple of weeks. Couple is 2 weeks. Even said it in the comment sections of that video, 2 weeks. Break was not 2 weeks. Break was longer than 2 weeks. So why was that? And obviously whenever I come back and made a video and was talking about it, I was like, there's some things that I can't talk about, there's some things that I can't talk about, you know, this and that, and it was back and forward, and it wasn't, and it's not that I was purposely not being open, there was just some things that I genuinely couldn't talk about at that time. So now that I can talk about it, let's discuss. Some people know already, so it's fine. During the lead up to the break, some things had happened, that I, you know, that was playing in the background in my own personal life. Okay, that it wasn't in-game related, it was personal life stuff. And whenever I was on my break, my missus wasn't exactly well. Not in a bad way, right? It's not like, you know, she fucking had some disease or something. It was nothing like that. My missus started getting sick. Again, nothing bad. It was quite the opposite, so it was good type of sickness. Turns out that before my break had even started, we found out that my missus was pregnant again. Okay, so if you don't know, I already have a daughter, Charlie. She is 7 years old, and we found out that we are expecting another one. And just like, it's not as bad because whenever we were, when my missus was pregnant with Charlie 7-8 years ago, she was really bad morning sickness, really bad. And if you're not aware, morning sickness just isn't in the morning, it's all day basically. It can hit you at random stages, but she got really bad with it. This time it's not so bad, but it's still, you know, on the best of days, knocking the absolute fuck out of her. Just with the whole changes that goes on with the body with pregnancy and stuff, tiredness is a massive thing. Obviously being sick takes it out of you as well. Just in general, the mix of between trying to make sure that my missus is okay and she's got everything that she needs and she's comfortable, and, you know, looking after my daughter, working full time, you know, making sure everything in the house, there's food, there's gas, there's electric, the house is tidy, my daughter's homework is done, everything. Not saying that I'm the only one that does that, you know, my missus does that too, but I'm still to this day, I'm trying to take as much off of my missus and put it on to me, because I'm not carrying a fucking child, you know, I'm not growing a human. So obviously she needs as much rest and, you know, just as much relaxing as she can do. That I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to make sure that she relaxes as much. Okay, which that, you know, that became my focus entirely whenever we found out. But whenever it came to Eve and taking the break, it made me really think, because if you've never been in nullsec, and everyone's opinions of nullsec is different, but for me personally, I just feel like nullsec is a second job, and that's not something that I need in my life. My child, my next child, my second child, is going to be born in due around October time. So obviously, you know, over the course of the summer and then going into autumn and stuff, as the further on that my missus gets into the pregnancy, that's whenever, you know, she's going to get even tireder, she's going to need more help and stuff like that. So then my playtime is going to drop dramatically. I won't be able to, if I was still in nullsec, I couldn't do AFK stuff. That basically living in nullsec no longer suited my personal life, and when I'm the one that's playing the game and I'm the one that's paying for the subscription for Omega, and I'm the one that's doing all that and putting in the time and effort, I'm going to play the game the way that it suits me. Nullsec doesn't suit me anymore. If I need to make all my ISK while I'm working by doing AFK, ice mining and a high sec, I'm going to do that, which would lead me to then, whenever I do come on and I do have that bit of free time, because God knows whenever it hits October time and my hopefully son comes along, that playtime that I have right now is going to drop off dramatically. I will still make videos and stuff, that's not going to change, but that's basically why my break was a wee bit longer, because I needed to work out how I could still make my money, I could still play the game, but not have it interfere with my personal life, because at the end of the day it is a game and I can't have it affect my personal life. So yeah, that's pretty much why, and looking after my missus, making sure everything was done. And by that stage during the break, like, my daughter still didn't know, and in fact my daughter found out at the end of November. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Not November. Mrs. wasn't even pregnant in November. Jesus fuck. End of March. I don't know where I got November from. I apologize. Okay. My daughter found out at the end of March. By this stage, me and my missus had known for almost 2 full months. We found out at the start of February. But whenever I took the break from Eve, that's whenever it really gave me the chance to think, right, I need to really assess how I'm going to maximize the very little time that I'm going to have, plus still being able to enjoy the game. I couldn't do that in null. I couldn't AFK mine in null. I could to a certain extent, but I couldn't. There's so many activities that I can do during work that I can AFK it, that I can make the money, that whenever I do have the free time, I can actually enjoy the free time, because it's going to be few and far between. So that is why the break actually lasted longer than intended, because I was assessing what I needed to do, and the conclusion that I came to and stuff was, I am coming back to high sec. I will not be returning to nullsec. The only time that I go back to nullsec is maybe a day trips, wormhole, popping out of a wormhole somewhere. I will not be coming back to live in nullsec. I wouldn't say no for the entirety of the time that I play Eve, so maybe in the future sometime, but right now, no, because for me, nullsec is a second job, and that is definitely not what I need right now. So I just thought, you know what, now that I can speak about it, because we've had her scan, we've told her daughter, we've seen the pictures of the baby, and everything is great, everything is running smoothly. Everyone, well, all of us are excited for the new Bambino coming along, and we can't wait for it. So I just thought I would actually give an update to the people that watch these videos regularly as to why exactly the break lasted as long as it did, and how exactly I came about to being back in high sec. So that is that. Anyway, it is 21 minutes past 12 in the morning, and I still haven't even had dinner, so I'm going to go get something to eat, and then I'm going to go to bed. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, thanks for watching.